All right, let me talk about tip number one here with dumbbells. When I do videos like this, I always think, what's the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to something you might be doing wrong for biceps? So normally when you do a dumbbell supinated curl, you do one arm at a time. Normally it looks something like this, right? You start supinating, you curl the weight up like this, and you supinate back. It should look something like that. But here's what I see so much. I see people essentially starting with a hammer curl. It's almost more like a clean. I see them throwing the weight up like this, and then they just kind of turn their body into it. So instead of staying strict and turning like this as you come up, they do this. The first thing they do is they do this. They jump the weight up, and then they turn into it. I see that so often. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of good for your brachioradialis, but if your goal is to get your bicep, you can't start it with a clean. You have to have your arm down here and supinate as you go. I would rather see, if you have trouble with that form, I'd rather see you just do a straight supinated curl. Just like this, and not even worry about the twist. So when you're doing your dumbbell curls, don't start like this and then just dive into it, okay? That is easily the most common thing that I see. Tip number two is it's a little sneaky tip. Supinating is really good. That's one of the functions of your bicep. But some people tell me I have a kind of a hard time really turning and getting that squeeze. So watch this, I've got a little tip for that that'll fix that. Basically what I want you to do is I want you to grab the dumbbell on the inside. You see how that forces this out? Now, as I'm supinating, look where the dumbbell is. It's forcing me out like that, where some people, they kind of get here, they can't really turn and get that supination. Change that grip to this. Now as I'm turning, look where the dumbbell is. It's almost forcing me into a really hard contraction. Right there. All right, tip number three. Whatever you do not curl in the squat rack, all right? I'm just kidding, follow me. Now let's go to a barbell. Sometimes when I curl my barbells, I cheat a little bit. And what that means is sometimes I'm going to use a little bit of my hips, to cheat. A little bit of cheating, that's okay, but here's the problem I see with a lot of people when they curl. The long head of your bicep actually does have some function doing this with your shoulder, okay? But I'll tell you this, I've never met one person in my life that got huge biceps from doing this. So just because a muscle has a role in the movement doesn't necessarily mean it's effective for building the size of the muscle. So my point is a little bit of this is okay, but what happens is you kind of lose the curl if you come out too far. So a little bit of this with your front delt and your bicep is okay, as long as you're curling, as long as you're shortening this point right here. But what I see people doing is they're using weight that's so heavy, they're throwing the weight up, and the weight comes up to here from them cheating. There's no curling. There's no curling right there. They get up to here, and then they stand up and they curl. So it's just really, really poor form. So if you want to cheat a little bit at the bottom to get it going, that's okay. But don't do this, okay? Don't do that. So when you get up to here, then you got to shorten that distance. You got to actually curl. I know it sounds silly, but what I say this video was, it's simple tips. As soon as you get out of here, curl. This is not right. That's bad. See where my arms are? See how I'm doing that? Versus, see the difference? I am cheating a little at the bottom, but I'm curling. Couldn't resist, had to do a bonus tip today.